In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Another day on Crypto Paradise, and of course, PulseChain, Bitcoin holding up. So that is the bullish sign of things to come, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So hope you guys are enjoying it out there. PulseChain rises. We're going to do some bridge and whale alpha today. Hope you guys enjoy a little bit of insights on that. Obviously, PulseChain has had a few challenges over the last 48 hours. So we're going to get into all of that detail as well. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Now, we're going to get into it, and I'm just going to post out the show, of course, and you guys can share it around. That'd be really helpful. So let's get that in the chat first. We've got Brian already in the house. Hey, Brian, good to see you. What's up, folks? Good to see Brian as always. Our community leader is here, never fear. So share the show on X. Let's type that in. Bam. And there we go. All right, we got Hexcavator in the house as well. Hey. Good to see you, Hexcavator. Hope you're doing well. Who else has jumped in there? Hedgehog as well. Woohoo! Let's get excited. Hedgehog is here. And, of course, share the show around. There is the link right there. It'd be really, really great. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So very, very fun indeed. Very fun indeed. Fun indeed. All right. There we go. So that is the mix at the moment. What else are we going to talk about? I think we've got a few things I was going to say. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to cover that topic. What else is there? I think we've done that one. So we're going to get into this topic here. Let's go straight to the chat, shall we? We got Sean in the house there. Welcome to the jungle. Good to see you, Sean. Big shout out to you as well. Now, we did see, PulseChain get dragged down overnight. A lot of capital ended up going over the bridge as well over the last 4 or 5 days. So another heavy hit on PulseChain. With the capital flows on the bridge. The other thing we also saw, just one account has managed to pull the Sun Minimal chart down pretty dramatically, especially the last couple of hours. That just because they got so many free coins, they just smash. So we're going to look at that as well on the old Sun Minimal. Let's go into the updates here. We've got PulseChain Magnificent 7. I talked about that and put the videos out yesterday. So that was a bit of an alpha thread. We got PulseX Inc. Hex, and then we've obviously got SolidX out there as well. Saw Sun Minimal, which has got hit pretty heavy by one account, just one account, and that was always the risk, right? That was always the Achilles heel or the kryptonite. But of course, it is a long-term hold, so it's not it's not a speculative one, so to speak. So we've got PGC in the house as well. That is another top one, and that's a big shout out to Prairie Banana and the gang out there. We got Anita in the house. Hey, Anita, good to see you. Woohoo! We got Bang PulseChain gang. Frank White in the house there. If you haven't checked out Pulse Start, definitely check that out. PLS Start with the PulseChain ecosystem. So that is kind of cool. All right, so that is where we were on that one. Now, we also had a bit of an update here. Let me just full screen this. Obviously, we've got coming up after the show. So about half an hour after the show, we're going to go for about 45 minutes today on the show. So a little bit shorter because we're doing our X space about half an hour later. So it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 p.m. New Zealand time, or was it 11 a.m. Australian time, something like that. So that is coming up. That's going to be for about an hour. We're going to have we've got a couple of teams coming in. We'll probably pick up maybe a couple of teams from the floor, and we're going to showcase their projects and Pumpamental. So if you want to hear that, it's the show's called, the X Space is called PulseChain Projects DeFi Roundtable. So that is coming up as well. And of course, you can find it on the profile. I will post that link in the chat there. So that's X Space after the show, and you can see the link to the show there as well. We've got Property View in the house there. Hey, very nice. Good to see you, Property View. Hope you're doing well. And that is the play there. So don't miss it. That's coming up. PulseChain Projects DeFi Roundtable, and we've got some great teams lining up for that. And that is the X Space right there. That is the link that you want to go to. So there we go. That is starting pretty soon, probably in an hour and 8 minutes. Hour and 8 minutes on that one. So that's really kind of the admin, really. And of course, we've got the show on today. I hope you guys haven't checked out the Radeon and the Monster Thread. They're all alive at the moment as well. Monster Thread week number 6. Pretty cool. All right, so that is that. Let's get into the stock market news, and we're going to go to that first. So, stock market S&P 500 gives up gains to close flat on Fed's hawkish pause. The Fed's playing games with the old interest rates, and we got. Let's have a look at some of the results though. So we got the Dow Jones is down 0.1%, so not too bad. At 44 points down to 42,171. S&P 500 is pretty much flat, just very slightly down, 1.8 points to 5,980, and the Nasdaq is actually up. So that's got a lot of the tech companies in it. Is up 1,300%, 25 points to 19,546. So pretty sort of steady as she goes kind of results there for the stock market. US dollar is up slightly, just a tad, up to 98.46. Remember when Trump came in, it was about 108. So that's gives you an idea that the US dollar is depreciated. And of course, what else we got? West Texas oil taking a bit of a breather after its sort of big rally on the Iran war. We've got West Texas at $73.40 and Brent oil at $76. Both of them down slightly. Gold at the moment, just under $3,400, down 0.5%, and silver down 0.5% almost at $36.76. So that's kind of where the commodities are. Now, the big news, of course, was the Fed Reserve. No surprises here. I really feel like they're playing really political games here, pretty crazy games indeed. And here we got the Fed keeping the rates the same. So we're the federal funds rate, this is kind of the wholesale rate, sort of sets the benchmark for many things, is sitting at 4.25 to 4.5%. It's pretty high. It's no reason why it couldn't be down at 3.5% or even 2.5%. But it is what it is. Now remember, every year the Federal Reserve, the Fed has to, not the Fed, the federal government has to rebook its debt, and so it has to, 37 trillion in debt. It normally does, I don't know, a range, not exactly sure the exact range, but somewhere between like maybe 25-30% of it often can be need to be refixed. I think that's those sort of numbers. I have to double check. So it's just off the top of my head, but that is, you're talking about trillions of dollars, $7-8 trillion, let's say something like that. And so it's at higher interest rates at the moment, right? So the lower the interest rates, the better, the lower that cost. The total costs are about just over $1 trillion in interest costs. It's ridiculous amount of money. Fed members continue to see the benchmark rate falling to 3.9% this year, and of course maintaining forecasts of 2 rate cuts. So still 2 rate cuts, but seriously, that's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The Fed's playing politics. For 2026, remember they did their interest rate cuts last year when Biden was still in power, and when Trump comes in power, no cuts, and inflation's been coming down, and of course the U.S. economy is still pretty robust. So the only thing they're trying to cite is tariffs, which they don't have a good eye for. They don't really, able to appreciate tariffs, and of course a lot of tariffs end up being neutral or even better because a lot of the tariffs are impacting big sectors like steel and stuff, which is normally based on dumping anyway. So for 2026, Fed now expects fewer rate cuts, forecast rates to fall to 3.6 in 2026 from prior forecast 3.4. So still pretty high, relatively speaking. For 2027, committee revised its policy rate outlook, seeing rates fall to 3.4%. That's for 2027. I mean, it's crazy from 3.1. Now, obviously, their forecasts, are pretty crap. So we'll see where that lands. Data released Wednesday showed the U.S. single-family housing starts increased, though, but the sharp drop in building permits. The number of Americans filing new applications for unemployment benefits fell last week, dropping 5,000, seasonally adjusted to 245,000. So that's kind of where that is at the moment. And of course, the Iranian leader moving to Iran, trying to play the tough game, but of course, in the back channels, trying to negotiate and get a meeting with President Trump. So we'll see where all that lands as well. That is the play. So a lot of pressure there on Iran. Right, so that leads us into crypto. So we're going to get into crypto stuff there. And let's jump into that. So we've got crypto at the moment, $3.38 trillion, down 1.6% at the moment. We've got the total, we've got Bitcoin still holding pretty well, though. But this is a really positive sign. Bitcoin at 104,900 is up 0.1% in the last 24 hours. We've got Ethereum at number 2, up 0.3%, 2,527. XRP at number 4, up 0.4% at $2.17. BNB down 0.7% at $645. Solana there is down 1% at $147. We've got Tron there is up 0.6% at 27 cents. Dogecoin there is up 0.5% at 17 cents. We've got Lido there at number 10, up 0.4%, obviously sitting at 2,526. And then that's followed by Cardano at number 11, and then Hyperliquid there at number 13 at the moment. So those are the top 10. The best performer of the last week, as we always say, is pretty much, what is that? Yes, it's Tron. Tron is only down 1.8%. So there we go at number 8. And it flipped Dogecoin and Cardano, right, over the last recent time. So Tron there, that's kind of hilarious. So that's kind of where we are on that. Looking at the top 100, let's just see who the best performer. Once again, White Bitcoin doing it again. Now sitting at number 22 on the all-time rank, and up 55% for the week, 2.3% today. So White Bitcoin there is keeping that uptrend after having a big pump. AB also is up 30%, sitting at number 96. That's coming to the top 100. And Bitcoin Cash there is up 7.9% as well. So that's pretty interesting. Bitcoin Cash there sitting at 460. And then Leo is at number 4, and Kaya there at number 5 as well. So they're all up only less than 1% though. So not a lot happening, but these are the outstanding performers in the top 100, Whitebit and AB. And we've got, I guess, a Bitcoin Cash too. Top gainers, we've got Gout token up 125%, Aura up 54%, and Taobot is up 30%. Let's have a quick look at Gout, shall we, and see what that's all about. Sitting at number 958 in the top 1,000. Had a big of a pump off the bottom there. We're sitting at 505 and now is up at 3018. So it's quite a big move, 3,500% in the last 30 days, 3,700% in the last 14 days. And that is that. What do they do? Let's have a look. We've got BC Scan. There's no real details about it, but that is up on BNB chain, BSC chain, and on the old Gouts. What else got? We'll miss the Aura one, but we'll go to Taobot, and that is up 28% at the moment, sitting up number 991. So it's in top 1,000, and you can see it's a wild ride on this one. It was down at 10 cents. It rallied all the way to 60 cents, and then back down to 25. Now at 32 cents. So enjoy the roller coaster ride as well. And it said they got a website, tau.bot. The ultimate bit tensor solution. The future is AI decentralization by BitTensor. So there we go. Bit of AI type of product with a DAO. Seem to have trading and leaderboard. So that seems to be what it's doing there. Not sure if it's streamline the complexity of Tau that empowered the power of BitTensor with guidance you can trust. What's it? One-click participation, the bits in net, invest in subnet. So yeah, you can check that out. Interesting. All right, so that is pretty much it on the trendings. Let's go to on the top gainers. Trending is Notcoin at the moment, Natex Network, and Toncoin there. So Telegram trending at the moment on the CoinGecko. So that's pretty much it for the market. So down 1.6% to 3.38 trillion. But Bitcoin holding real strong around 105, and that's a pretty positive sign at this stage. And of course, they will go to Bitcoin on our chart, and we can see Bitcoin here doing not too bad. So Bitcoin here trading sideways. We are above the 50-day. That's the yellow line, and we're at 100. Yeah, trading pretty nicely. 103,177. Of course, strategy with Michael Saylor bought more Bitcoin. Was it yesterday? And then we've got 200 day at 93,300. That is down here. So we are tracking really nicely in a nice little trading channel. And we're coming up to the 4th of July. And then we know that Trump wants to get the tax bill and a big trade deals out by then. So we've got still 2 weeks to go, 2 weeks to get some action. And we haven't really had any big trade deals besides the G7, the UK sort of signing their deal. And we're looking forward to bigger things happening next week. We get some of these big trade deals. So maybe next week, assuming Iran hasn't gone to the dogs, we get some good news here. Certainly happened later, and that's because the negotiations probably either going on long or being timed for a big release all at sort of at once. and that would lead us into the 4th of July. And so maybe they're building up the news flow there for a lot of trade deals, one after another. So remember, there's Trump's pretty much going to be renegotiating with something like 175 countries, and so really, but what we care about is really the top 15. So we want to, see what happens with Europe, with India, South Korea, Japan, countries like that. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. So hopefully we'll get a big news float as well as the tax deal as well. And we just had news around regulations, which is the third part of the Trump strategy. And of course, that was around the Genius Act, right, around stablecoins. And that is it's almost on the final line as well, having got approved by the Senate, pushed back to Congress, I think, for a few little amendments. And then that's pretty much away it goes. I don't know if it has to go back to the Senate for one more vote, but we'll check that. And then off to the president's desk, no doubt. So that's kind of the play there by the 4th of July to 2 weeks. 2 weeks of glory. And could that break us out of this sideways channel up and towards that 130, 150 mark on Bitcoin? And of course, we are expecting September to be pretty good. So we'll see how we go into that. But we are sort of zooming in just parabolic. So maybe we come out into July and start ratcheting up in that value that we're all looking for altcoin season. And the question is, how high does the dominance of Bitcoin get? Is it going to go to 70, or is it going to be, altcoin season is going to start, in the 66% range sort of thing? We'll see. We'll see where we go there. But that is, we're getting closer and closer. That's all we know. And as long as the geopolitical risks are contained, we should be good. We should be good there. We got Fast Abdul in the house there. I'm here for the tech. Good to see. Good to see. We got. I don't know if you've got GoPulse was down, but I've got using the backup site, so we're going to use that then. So that is Bitcoin at the moment, and of course we had Ethereum too, didn't we? Let me pull up the ETH chart actually. Let's pull up the ETH chart. And we got this golden cross, right, for ETH, right? So we are so close. I mean, ETH there at 2,439 and 200 day is at 2,476 to 2,476. So that's $26 difference almost between the golden cross. So we're about to go for gold here on the Ethereum as well. So timing's looking pretty good. 2 weeks. We'll probably hit that before 2 weeks if we get some nice little back up, upward movement again. So next week could be pretty good. Let's keep a lookout for that. So feeling pretty good next 2 weeks. That's Trump's strategy's got to be in place. 4th of July, 2 weeks ahead of us. We've got a golden cross set up for Ethereum. Bitcoin's holding at 105 over 100K. Things are looking pretty good. Obviously, the wild card out there is Iran, but that looks like they want to come to the discussion table. Potentially even, I think, trying to go to the White House to make that meeting. We shall see where that all lands. Obviously, they still have their one particularly big nuclear site that's very deep in the ground. Only the US has the bombs to destroy that. So we'll see what happens in that space. If they're able to make peace, then maybe that will be taken down, broken down in a civilian manner rather than through military means. But the opportunity for both things here at the moment, it looks. So we shall see where that lands on that one. All right, so that is the play sitting on the markets. Let's jump to GoPulse. Obviously, 768 days since PulseChain launched. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And here we are on day 768. The price of Pulse at the moment is still bargain prices at quadruple 0271, down 15% at the moment. And we're sitting at 27% of the mean sacrifice price. Beautiful place to pick up a lot of Pulse at the moment. We have had some whale dumping, right? We've had whale number 3. We're going to talk about that dumping as well. But before we do, let's get back in the chat there and let us know any thoughts that you guys have had recently on that. I've just got to bring up one or two things while I do that. So let me go to my bookmarks. Let me go to bookmarks here and pull it up. Let's see here. So we had one. I'm going to have to pull that up too. All right. So we had the big whale buying the other day, right? We had the big whale buying. Let me pull this up too. I'm going to talk about all that. I just got to remember the order that I'm doing it in. That's probably it. I was supposed to have this all set up, but sometimes things get in the road. Let's see here. So, bam. I think we're good to go. All right, so let's get back into the flow. So yeah, we had obviously the rates here. We've had PulseX at quadruple 0223 down 18.6%. So a massive slash on PulseChain. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and Ethereum are all up, right? They're all holding up. We're all strong. And here we are on PulseChain, and it's all deep dive down. And obviously, we've got the Iranian thing. Maybe that's caused some fear between some of the whales out there. Decided to reposition their capital. That you can decide on the motives. But there we are. PulseX is sitting at well, the burn's not showing, but we're sitting at 20. Down 18.6% at quadruple 0223 on PulseX. Incentive token $1.49 down is actually up 0.5%, and we got Hex there at 5400th of a penny down 14.6%. EHEX at 1700th of a penny. Combined price EX and PX just over 7/10 of a penny at the moment. So bargain prices for PulseChain affected by the whale moves and the bridge as well. So let's look at the gas prices. We're sitting at 1 million beats at the moment. 1 cent for a PulseX swap. The validators 50,196. So we're up about 40 maybe, 40 validators since we last talked about it. And the bridge there is sitting at 85,751,000. So I want to talk about this quickly with the bridge. So let's bring that over. So this is a custom chart of mine. It's not completely updated. You can see the yellow is missing. But this is the inflows and outflows on PulseChain, right? So there's inflows and outflows over the last sort of 8-9 days, and you can see the red lines are everything that's going out of PulseChain on the bridge, and the everything that's green is coming in on the bridge, right? So that is it. Let me just go to a separate studio. We'll pull that up a bit bigger and show that so you guys can see. And actually, I thought we had. All right, so that is that, and let's transition into there. So you can see what's happened over the bridge. So we had a couple of days, early last week, so where we were actually, we're actually losing money out of the chain. So this yellow is the accumulated. So we've got some money going in and out of the bridge, and this yellow line is the accumulated impact of that. So as it goes in and out every hour. It's either making more money come onto the bridge, over to PulseChain, or less money. So you can see it's negative. So it's actually money that's leaving. So you can see down here about probably 7 days ago, something like that, we were down about $500,000. And then we had a lot of money coming, right? We had a lot of money. See this big green candle came in, and so we were back in the money. We had more money coming over. We got up to a high of 115,000 net. That's the high, by the way, over the last 8-9 days. Which is pretty crazy. And then we started slowly slipping down, and then we had big money leaving, right? So we had like 300,000 leave, and then suddenly we're going down, and so we got money leaving the bridge. Remember, if we got whatever the starting value was 9 days ago, we're down from there, right? And I actually have a snapshot from the third, and the snapshot from the third was $92.5 million, right? $92.5 million. That was on the third. And here we are, 16 days later. So 16 days later, and we're down at 85.7 million. Now, obviously, some of those prices are impacted by the EHEX price, but obviously a lot of it's to do with stable coins and things like that. So, we're down quite a bit. We're down from basically 22 million DAI down to 20 million DAI. We're down from 7,174 ETH down to 6,900 ETH. And so on. So, in stable coins, we had USDC, we had 16 million. We're down to 14.9. So we lost over $1 million there. And USDC is actually the only one that's gone up, is USD Tether. And that's gone from 5.2 up to almost 5.4. So it's up almost 200K on the USD Tether. Bitcoin was 27. We're down to 26. Just to give you an idea. So we have been hit by those flows. All we can say about that. Great content set man says Trev. I appreciate that, Trev. 768 days flawless operation, trying to buy more PulseX. That's right. You got DC at these prices for sure. Just was watching Crispy Man Zen Prairie Banana discussing this time. Is great to buy into Hex, absolutely. And hopefully no pump just yet. AU tax year about to end, and I want my refund under PulseChain. Nice one there. nice moves from both Trev and Unprotected Hex there. All right, so that gives you an idea. Then, the middle of last week, we started money exiting. You can see the big red candles, right? These are money leaving, 238, 165. And so we were having more money accumulated. Remember, the yellow is the accumulated amount of money leaving. So if it's a negative here, and it is money leaving off of the bridge. And these are timestamp values, of course, at the time. And so we got down to $750,000. We started rising back up. We started getting some more money in. You can see some more green money coming in, and we ended up being negative 340,000. But then we had these big red candles. Look at this. This is what we've been hit by over the last day or two. We had 400K leave, and then so we went all the way down, and we were down basically 970,000 over $1 million, almost $1 million. I haven't added the accumulation because there's a couple missing hours, so that's why it's not showing up the accumulated. But we just lost another 561,000 overnight. That happened in the middle of the morning, and so down we went on that one. So that is kind of where we are at the moment, and we did have some money come back in, 196, but we are down at the moment. So there we go. And so we are down even further now. That is a massive 5.6. So arguably we're probably down about $1.6 million just over the last 9 days there with those timestamp values. So pretty big deal, right? Pretty big deal. So we have been hit by this. That does have an impact. And of course, these are people often selling down the market as well and shifting capital out. And who are those people, right? Who are those people? Well, Martin did a thing here back in the other day when we were pumping, Hex was pumping. Sorry, Ink token was pumping. And of course, we had a little pump, right? And Martin says, if you're wondering why Richard Hart coins are pumping, a wallet holding over 500,000 DAI started buying Ink, deployed over $430,000 so far. Ink was up. And of course, everyone was excited about that. I keep repeating how liquid our system is and how little it takes to fly. And so we did benefit from that. Right? So with that big buying. However, unfortunately, after that, as you can see in the bridge, we obviously had a lot of that capital coming in, but we had these big amounts leave yesterday and last night. And of course, that is people taking money. Now, there's different sources where people can take money from. So typically we saw PulseX getting sold down, right? So following that pump with INC, we saw this one here. We then saw, the third biggest wallet selling down on PulseChain Sacrifice, right? So in April and May last year, says Martin, the third biggest wallet in Richard Hart ecosystem, which ends in 98C, dumped 278 billion Pulse for a total of 5,100 ETH. That was last year, worth of 17 million back in the day. Over that time, the owner of that wallet did everything he could to hide his selling activity, selling funds to a daughter wallet, bridging Pulse out to ETH, and then using MetaMask swaps to sell on an aggregator. The ETH was then being constantly sent to ChangeNow, and from then washed out to Binance, paying close to 2% in fees in total to remain unnoticed. Back then, I didn't want to post this because I didn't want to cause panic, and ironically, the wallet stopped selling the moment Richard posted the thread, and that was back in April, May last year. To give you context, and there's some of the evidence there. The wallet, Martin says the wallet 98C. In fact, let's go back to that actually. Yeah, so the wallet 98C held close to 350 billion Pulse, 350 billion PulseX, 600 million PHEX, and 660 million EHEX since PulseChain launched, and only became active in that 45-day period to sell 278 billion Pulse and hundreds of small transactions. Sadly, and this is where the update comes from, that wallet became active again today, sending 80 billion PulseX. This is yesterday, it was a few hours ago now. Yesterday, 4 o'clock in the morning. And sadly, that wallet has become active again today, sending 80 billion PulseX to a daughter wallet, 132, which dumped 40 billion PulseX for Pulse in the past couple of hours, causing the PulseX Pulse ratio to sink more than 14%. And of course, so we had this big pump in ink, and then we had, of course, this big seller, wallet number 3 sell. And that's what has impacted the chart. So just to give you an idea of what's been happening on PulseChain, that's basically the idea of why we're covering this. And we're probably not going to cover absolutely everything that's happening on PulseChain from the big whales, but these are some of the key moves they've been happening over the last sort of 24, 48 hours. So that's kind of where we are there. So PulseX ratio has got dumped down. Still pretty strong, the PulseX pulse ratio, but still got hit pretty heavy. Unfortunately, the daughter wallet bridged out 1 billion pulse to Ethereum a couple of hours ago. This is based on yesterday's data, of course. This is yesterday at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, that's over a day, maybe about a day and a half ago. The wallet currently holds 34 billion pulse and 40 billion PulseX worth 2.1 million at current prices, while the main wallet still holds 101 billion pulse, 261 billion PulseX and 660 million PHEX and 660 million EHEX there. So still pretty heavy player. Now, there's all sorts of reasons why the person may have decided to sell at this stage. Could have been fear over the Iranian thing. Could have been to buy a new Lamborghini. I mean, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible there. So that is the play on that one. And that was a couple of insights there around what's been going on with PulseChain. Obviously, we also had some other big players like the big seller on Sol, Sun, Mini Mill sell as well today, and that's one's been pretty much dominating the Sol token chart there. So that is the play on this one. So that gives a little bit of insight what's been happening. Now, obviously, that means that there's also a lot of opportunity on PulseChain. And so we're going to talk about that. So at the moment, the top performer at the moment on the 24-hour trending, we've got, let's go to volume first, though. We've got $18.2 million in volume today. We've got 241,000 transactions, but of course, it's on a big dump day on PulseChain. So, yeah, we've had some big players sell into the market. So we had one big player buy our INC. We've had big players sell the PulseX. We've had big players sell Sun Mini Mill. And so, these are some of the key moves. Now, there may be others. Those are some of the big observable ones there at the moment in the play. That is where we are at the moment. We've got Sol doing a bit of a recovery, but this is basically up 4.2%. So we're going to have a look at Sol, Sun Mini Mill. This is actually the USDC pair, so I want to go to the other pair actually. That's the USDC pair in green, but actually the actual Pulse pair is all the way down here at number 99. So it is actually down 27% for the day, and a nice little pickup going on at the moment. So this is the hourly chart for Sol. You can see it got dumped down. Now, pretty much, if you look at the chart here, we're going to go full mode on Sun Mini Mill. Now, this was always the Achilles heel of Sol because of the way the reward 1.0 points gone out. A lot of people have a lot of relatively free coins, let's say. Obviously, they've been buying Sun Mini Mill products over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, and then getting a lot of points. And so they get a lot of there are a lot of big holders, right? That's basically it. So that is the Achilles heel. The positive, of course, is is the buy and burn, but we've only seen that sort of very, very sort of modestly coming onto the chain. So something like maybe $1 million worth so far is the number, but it's probably there's like 8.5 million euros, so probably more like $9.5 million US dollars still to come on, and that's going to grow over time. So we still have to see a lot of that. We still haven't got the company dashboard up, the customers buying from all that point of view. So we've got lots of things to come. So a lot of fundamentals is still delayed, and we see this all the time in crypto as well as the corporate world, right? Delay. So it has been ramping, but just a lot slower than people anticipated. So we'll have to see what we get in the next few weeks with that. All right, so let's quickly go to the, sorry, I'm just doing full screen too early. Let me go to the chart here. We're going to get rid of the RSI. Obviously, RSI is oversold down at 30, so it did bump down, oversold there on the hourly. Let me go to the daily there quickly. RSI is not fully oversold, but it's down at 34, pretty close. The 4 hourly on the chart there is oversold, so we're down to 24. So that's definitely oversold on the short term, and the daily is not too far away. All right, so let's go to the chart here. I just wanted to find the big seller, and this seller has pretty much defined the rollover on the chart. So what you call is a rollover on the chart there. So it's just one wallet, and the wallet is in the top 120 holders, and you can see all the big sells here. So 24, 30, 44, they just basically dumped it, right? And then they dumped, there was probably about a million and a half coins or so. Now, I think that this player originally, based on the old coin, had about 8 million tokens, although the sells in the new token are only 3.7. So I'm not sure what's happened between that time frame, because obviously there was previously a previous coin before this, so they may have sold out then on the previous coin, and that was almost 2 months ago. And then before that, of course, there was STBL, I think it was, which they pulled as well. So That's kind of the play. You can see all the sells from this wallet, and this wallet has basically been the big seller, and they've basically taken 372,000 and money for nothing. Now, who holds the wallet? I don't know, but they're in the top. They were in the top, 120. If they were sitting at 8.7 million, they're probably in the top 50 or something like that. So that is kind of where they are. There are a lot of big holders in the wallet. So that's presumably most of them are customers, but you just don't know. All right, so that is the play there. Let's go to the full screen. And we can see this on the daily chart that this wallet essentially has structured the chart with the sells. So we had the big rally into the first one, and then we had some sells here, 60K and 40K, so it's $100,000. Pushed us all the way down to 11.6 cents. Then we rallied up a little bit. Then we got some more sells. So 10, 16, 17. So another over 20 grand, 23 grand or something like that on that one, and we rallied again. And now we're rallying into the Australian World Conference, remember? And we're supposed to get a lot of updates around the website and all that. None of that happened, right? All got pushed out because they were making final tweaks, right? So and that's from a staff member, so that's how I know that. So here we got the sales here coming on the chart. So 12, what's that? 22. So another 35,000, and then the following day, they pummeled out another 20, another 30 grand there. So 30. So, just rounding the chart here. The chart got rounded, of course, once we got through the Austrian. Then we started getting the rounding off of the chart. And there they came in and they sold down some more. So most of the big red candles impacted by this one wallet. That's all it took. Even though there's like 1 point something million, because they had so many basically free coins. That's the round off there. And today, it looks like they got rid of their last coins. This does appear to be their last coins, unless they got coins sitting in another wallet. This appears to be the last, and at least in the wallet they've been trading. But they basically exited, 1.5 million coins, and took another, 100 grand out. So another 100 grand out there, but it looks like they are out. The chart went all the way down to 5.6 cents, and is currently back at 6.7 at the moment on a bit of a rebound. So that is Sun Minimal, and so we're going to keep a lookout for what the news with the company over the next few weeks, and the buy and burn impact and things like that, but particularly the customer wallet and the bridge as well. So all that sort of stuff coming together, and maybe banks are on ramp going live as well. So we'll keep a lookout for all that news as we go. But that is the Sun Minimal. Now let's jump out of that, and let me just get out of there. Let me go back into PulseChain. So that is Sun Minimal, covering that. How are we doing for time? I've got to make sure I'm not too late here. Got another 6 minutes to go. We got DGN Diamond Hands in the house. Good to see you, Diamond Hands. Big shout out to you. All right, so what's going next on the chart? So let's go up the top here. So we got, remember, there's OG Web Chef that's up 2.8%. Surf Token from Crypto Paradise. Big shout out to that team and Nick Hellman. That's up 1.7%. So this is, performing still pretty well. Obviously a big team. That chart's looking real good. So you need 200,000 Surf to get into the DAO. And of course that team is pretty big, professional team, about 130,000 followers on there too. We got DAI. Good. This is the pump tires DAI at 1.6% at the moment, sitting at 00040-100. Let's have a look at that chart at the moment, see how that's going. That is that chart at the moment. So it's on the bottom there, just streaking down. So we'll see if that can get a reprieve. Now, as you guys know, this won't affect pump tires DAI, but it may benefit indirectly, possibly. But once again, better banks coming right for PDAI. And of course, it's also going to take in Pulse and Hex, I think, or something like that. So that could be quite bullish. A better bank. So better banks like a modified fork of Aave, and so that could be a nice little pumpamental there for the old PDAI. We shall see. Now we also got the Ring one meme. There's another pump tires at 1%. UFO up almost 1% as well, and then Gelato there is up slightly there. So that's it. Not much action on the old PulseChain today. Obviously been hit pretty hard with the bridge money leaving, with some whale moves at the moment. And so yeah, with the thin, we always talk about Richard thinned out the liquidity. It's great for the way up, but of course, if you've got whales doing particular things, whether it's risk management or whether it's something specific, like just good old profiteering, or whether it's going to buy a new Lambo or a new house or whatever they're deciding to do, the chart's been hit by a couple of those whammies, right? And of course, if you've got free coins as well, that also can impact. Now, looking at some of the ones that are still holding up relatively, even though they've all been sold off, you got X Game down here. We are expecting some big news around X Game coming up from SolidX and Firewell. That's only down 1.3% at the moment. Let's see what else is going on down here. I know we might get Teddy Bear might get some injection. We'll see what firepower Maria's got. James Maria we're talking about. And SolidX down at $8.83, and we know some big news is coming up for that soon. So that could be one of the big reversals. And of course, that's in my Magnificent 7, as you guys know, SolidX. So it's $8.83 at the moment, and that's holding up, still pretty well. I mean, that's the ink pair, but you get my point. There's the SolidX pair there with Pulse. So that is where it's at, $8.77. Remember, the second week it was up at $266, but we've got this decentralized casino happening now, and the pump mentals are pretty big. So that's one of the big moves on PulseChain. Looking forward to that at some stage. So that's kind of the play there. Pump tires is down 4% at the moment. So we've got a few there. PTC the Greys, obviously that's one of the Magnificent 7 as well. That is down 6.8% at the moment. And there's an opportunity there. So see if it broke it has actually broken the upward support there as well for the first time. Look at that. So that is actually broken the upward support. So we'll see what it can do there. Arguably, that might mean it's going to come, depending on the climate. Now, if we get this big reversal next week, if we get all this big news around trade deals and all this stuff, presumably maybe PulseChain will rally, assuming the whales play the game. Right, that's it. The whales play the game. Sometimes whales will do relativity shifts, right? So they'll shift out from PulseChain, maybe go into Bitcoin, for example. So we get that as well. It's another motive that people have. But here we are at the moment at 00026. And we're just breaking through that long-term uptrend there. We'll see where that goes. But certainly, it's got good horizontal support between 1900 and 2100. So if it does break that down, it really needs to hold that horizontal at that 1900 plus mark. But this chart's still looking pretty good overall. But like I say, it might take a little bit of a sideways channel move before it goes up. We shall see. But next week could be very bullish, depending on the way Trump's going to play out all these trade deals and stuff. All right, so that's kind of play there. What else are we picking off here? So a lot of these ones are down, obviously. The top hat at the moment is down 11%. What else there? Your mum is also down 18%. This was one of the big performers. Of course, they're going down, but it's still up pretty high, right? It's a pretty good structure still, but definitely under pressure there. What's that? 3,600 a penny. Now at 0.3 of a penny for the old Your Mum, and of course they had the big burn on it, didn't they? And Moon King is behind this one as well, as supportive of this one. So that's kind of where we are on those markets. And that leads us basically into the end of the show, just about, because we're doing a short show today because we've got the X Space on. So we're going to pull up the X Space in a minute. It's going to be on at 1 o'clock, so it's half an hour from now. So you definitely got to try and make that. And we've got the advert here somewhere. Let's pull the advert out there. So that is the advert there, and we're going to have the breakdown. So it's going to be pretty cool. That is the X Space there. So I'm going to post you the link there if you want to join in X Space, and hopefully we'll have a great time with some cool teams in X Space. That's on in half an hour. So join us with that one. That's all I can say. Join us up today. It's going to be about an hour. The teams will pretty much, give a quick overview, a couple of minutes. We'll change the format from last time. So it's probably going to be a couple of minutes to chat. And then people are going to be able to, on the panel, ask some questions about the project and things like that. So look forward to that. That is coming up in about half an hour's time. So I hope you guys will attend, and I'll see you there. All right, so we're going to finish up the show here on 43 minutes. Let me know in the chat if you've got anything else, but I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, we're looking forward to X Space coming up in only a few minutes' time, maybe 30 minutes, and I'll see you guys all there. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of the alpha there around the bridge and some of the big whale moves that have been happening on PulseChain. Hope that gives you a bit more of a background to some of the key things. Obviously, it doesn't cover everything that goes on PulseChain, because we haven't got eyes everywhere. But when people make good comments on stuff, it's always good to have a few little insights. Frank White says, great show. See you in the X Space. Yeah, see you there in about half an hour's time, guys. That is where we are at the moment. That is X Space in half an hour. See you all there. and it is going to be PulseChain Projects DeFi Roundtable. We're going to have some cool projects there profiling their pumperment deals. So catch you all there soon. All right, take care. I'm going to play out the end game here. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a full show. All right, bye for now.